producer.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Ramblecast. I just overstepped.
No, it's fine. I go ahead and do it.
Well, you don't have a song.
I don't have
today,
a song.
so
Yeah. I was thinking about one, but I didn't have time to look it up. So.
Instead of having a song, Nick is just going to unwrap High Chews the entire podcast.
I'm down to my last two. So.
Crack chews. Your last two, you've had about 30 of them.
Yeah, I love them. So anyway, apparently Matt and Jack have never discovered the good.
No, I've had them.
Oh, okay. Then, but you need to get High Chews. You can get the regular ones, which are like strawberry, grape, and green apple. I think most grocery stores these days.
I'm not a fan of grape candy.
Oh, man, the grapes are the best.
I agree.
Of the regular flavor High Chews, the grape is the best by far.
Because you were talking about Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
And if I get a bag of Jolly Ranchers, what's left is the grape. I save those to the end. It's like, all right, I'm out of candy. I got to have something. I'll break down, have the grape Jolly Ranchers.
You know, you should put them in a box. Put them in a box. Mail them to Chris, and Chris will mail you some editables.
Oh, that's
there you go.
That would be a good trade-off.
That's a fair trade-off to me.
You can use Postmate.
Who's the centerfold this month for Postmate?
So, but yeah, like there's a store in Fort Collins called Rocket Fizz, which is like a candy chain. There's
That's
like
an Elton John song, right?
Rocket Man, yeah. But there's one in Boulder, there's one here in Fort Collins, and they have oh my God, just all kinds of candy you've not seen since you were a kid, just tons of it.
Well, that's Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, it's like Cracker Barrel, but like way better. And they have some novelty, not novelty, but just the rare High Chews, and one of them is like they have sours and they have sweets, and like the sour ones I love because you have grapefruit, lemon, lime, and watermelon or something like that. But it's the grapefruit High Chews. If anyone can find them where you're from, get the grapefruit High Chews. They were unbelievably good. If you like sour, I love sour. They're great.
I always crack up when you see old candy because you're like, okay, I didn't see this. I don't see this anywhere else. How are they still making? Is this old candy that they never sold it, or is this?
It's from 1982.
Okay, because
if it's candy, if it's candy corn, absolutely.
Well, candy, but no one eats candy corn. Nobody goes out. I'm sure there's someone out there that goes out. Nobody goes out of the way. Oh, good, I got candy corn.
Mm-hmm.
Candy corn sucks.
Yep.
It's like every store you go into during Halloween. It's at the front of the impulse item. I go. Is anyone going, oh, God, I'm glad they put it up here because I got to grab me a bag of candy corn because I hate somebody.
What's fucked up is you see it at the front of every department store, but you also see it at everyone's goddamn house. It's everywhere. People buy that shit.
I don't want to sit here and defend candy corn, but I will say that circus peanuts. Circus peanuts are worth. Circus penis? Circus peanuts.
Welcome to the shop. Here's Circus Penis.
I always want to know. You sit around.
Get Circus Penis does his tricks.
It's way too chewy and chalky.
You know the candy you get every now and then. It's like a little strawberry that's wrapped up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell are those things called? I've never.
They're called roof of your mouth destroyers. That's what they're called.
I love those.
They're called the same thing as the end of your shoelace.
My great grandmother Ruth, God rest her soul, used to always have a little a glass dish of those and the ribbon candy at all times. Strawberries and ribbon candy.
Are you talking about the big hard candy? But
the strawberry has like a soft inside.
Yeah. I'm talking about the ribbon where it was just thrown in a jar. It wasn't wrapped.
No, yeah, it was just free flowing ribbon candy.
Yeah, my mom used to get that when I was a kid, but now you look back and I go, yeah, the dog could have been licking that. Because my dog loves candy.
And on the other side of the room there was always peanut brittle in a tin.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. Speaking of breaking the roof of your mouth,
I'm not a big peanut brittle fan. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's like
I think it was all.
Everybody stops. I'm like, I love toffee. I'm like, fuck that guy.
Oh, I thought you said coffee.
I thought you said coffee too.
Like that makes no fucking sense. But okay, I'll go with it.
There's always a cup of coffee at the end of the thing because I'm 67 years old.
You dip your peanut brittle in the coffee.
You got those candy corn penis things, circus penis, and I like circus penis.
Circus penis is the worst. And if you're eating circus penis,
Carney penis.
I'm Antonio Brown. I'm throwing little penises at cops.
What a dick, huh?
And cussing out his mommy's. I guess he's not married. His girlfriend, but his mother of his children. With the children there. Have you guys seen this video?
Yeah, it's terrible.
No,
I go, oh my God! Why would you post it? Bad enough you filmed it. Why would you post it?
Because he's deranged, man. Like he's got some issues.
I remember he was on Dancing with the Stars. I said he was such a class. I go, I heard he has problems. He has. I think he needs some help because that he's.
Well, you saw the shit that he pulled here in New England. You kidding me? Or before he got here, but then all the shenanigans that ensued afterwards.
He's cost himself a lot of money and probably a Hall of Fame career too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, circus penis.
They're the worst. I don't know why you would even defend that.
They're better than candy corn. One thing about candy corn is you used to make like vampire teeth.
You put candy corn and circus peanuts on a pole, and I'm telling you, there's going to be a stripper that's licking that up.
Did you work Postmates?
Sorry, Postmates.
Wow, this took a deep, different direction. And I went a different direction. I thought you were going to say on a table.
I was going to mean a poll, like a voting poll, but whatever. So, I think we've done an actual voting thing on or a best of for or not best of, but whatever the fuck we do on this show.
The worst verses of the worst of
verses.
candy.
Thank you.
I think candy corn's one of those things people don't like to admit they like because
some people do, but yeah, it's just straight wax. I don't understand how anybody likes it, but
as a kid, I like those wax. Remember those wax lips and the wax gums and the wax little milk things, and they had the wax little milk the little sticks that had the juice in it. Who knows what the juice was? It wasn't. They should have had the juice in the circus penis, right?
I'm telling you, those wax bottles still better than circus peanuts.
Agreed.
Well, those were great. I mean, you sit there and get a big wad of, and they used to have the harmonica one. Remember that one? They had little.
Yep.
I don't remember the harmonica one.
You could play the music on it. Yeah, look it up. They still sell them. You can. It's like one of Nick's candy store.
I tell you, it's cool, man. I'd never seen a candy store like that until I moved here, and it is neat because there's a lot of stuff that from the '80s and '70s. Like, I wish they had Bonkers, but they haven't been Bonkers in 20 years.
Oh, Bonkers, man!
But, I remember Bonkers, yeah.
But they have like huge boxes of Nerds and all kinds of stuff that you're like, man, like when did they make them this big? And
the Nerds are too much work. It's such a little. It's such a little candy. You put it's just like.
Eat them one at a time, Jack.
So Jack, literally, all you have to do is
pour them in your mouth.
And how many times have people spilled Nerds? I think that's my thing is because we work at the rink. Kids would always spill. I go, come on,
damn these kids keep spilling these Nerds.
Oh, damn Nerds! Why don't you get the big candy?
God damn, this is an Iceplex, not a goddamn candy store. Get your Nerds out of here, old whippersnapper.
Have they ever made a big giant nerd?
I got your big giant nerd right here. Right?
I think they have because I'm looking at him.
That's my joke, you bastard. I got one giant nerd right here with his.
I'm sorry about that.
Asterisk Houston. Yeah.
Well, so far, Houston. We have a problem.
Dude, this is going crazy, man. Jack, you were posting earlier today about the whole baseball thing and how Alex Cora and the Red Sox have parted ways.
Yeah,
dude, they're going to come down on him.
Well, he was the one in Houston, right? He got it going in Houston.
He's like the ringleader of all this shit. Yeah. So here's the thing, and there's going to be some Red Sox fans listening to us that are going to get mad at me for saying this, but
wait, they didn't win the World Series last year, right?
No, year before they did.
There's no Red Sox fans anymore.
Oh, please. So there's gonna be some pissed off people. When I say this, I think that the Red Sox really pussied out in this whole thing. They're separating themselves.
They're trying to
so
preempt the
far and they're separating from with Alex Cora and not assuming any responsibility for the bullshit. And that kind of pisses me off, really. That I feel like that they should take a bigger stance and say, hey, XYZ, this is what happened. We're gonna, they're gonna get some type of punishment. It's not gonna be just him. But why would you separate yourself from the whole thing? Own it.
Well, I think they're trying to soften the blow. I think it's like when a college team knows they're going to get some sanctions, but they kind of punish themselves ahead of time.
Yeah,
but I don't know. But you look at what Houston did, and they fired the coach and the general manager. I mean, they'll get a job again.
Not for a while.
And it kills me. The owners. How do they? If they're at the ballpark, they know what's going on.
They know. Please, of course.
So get off your fucking high horse all the way. This is the integrity of the game. You knew what was going on. Shut the fuck up.
Well, it's crazy. Think about it. I think someone was posting this on our page. I'm not sure, but they were saying here's the implications of that year of the time that Cora spent with Houston, right? And then arguably that's what helped him get the job in Boston, right? To which he then carries this team here to a World Series, probably doing the same shit. I for one, think that they should take it away.
It doesn't matter to me because my team doesn't win the World Series.
They should take it away from Houston and they should take it away from Boston and say, fuck you, don't do it again. And that'll set the stage for the rest of the league.
That's what I was curious about too, especially with Houston, because that's what I've read a couple articles now talking about that, how that could literally had cost, the Dodgers the series. It's like, can you imagine the uproar if all of a sudden, the league said, Houston, you're no longer that championship and, turning your rings, turning everything, and we're giving it to the Dodgers. I mean, that would be so weird.
Well, look at 2018.
Yeah.
The Dodgers get fucked everywhere they go, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Houston, we have a problem with Jack. He's frozen.
Oh, he is frozen, yeah. I thought he got
or mid-orgasm. I don't know what the hell he's doing there. He's like,
hold on.
I think someone
shot that real quick.
Yeah, I think he sat on a
that's I missed it. I didn't get it. God damn it.
Damn, we missed it.
I missed it.
Oh, well. For all the listeners at home, just let your imagination run wild.
We just saw Jack's O-face frozen for a good 20 seconds.
His eyes were closed, his mouth was open, and there is all circus penis.
So yesterday, I'll get my story started while we wait for him to come back.
Sure. Yeah.
I had yesterday and today off, and I decided to go out to Western Mass, where I grew up, and take my mom out to lunch. So I was thinking about it, and I have been quietly obsessing over a couple things. I'll sit down and research and look things up like crazy over the past couple of months. First thing is solar panels. I want to put solar panels in my house in the worst way. So I've been researching the shit out of going solar and how it's going to, the startup costs and versus long-term benefits, etc. But I've also been really obsessed over a Tesla car. I really want one. I really wanted one for a while. But I was thinking, I'm like, I just sat there and I literally figured this out 2 nights ago while taking a dump. Right. So I sit down on the toilet. I've got my own.
Where your best thoughts come from.
I've got my own bathroom downstairs here that no one else uses but me. That's like my little sanctuary. And
nobody wants to use it. Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't care.
Wait until your son gets older.
I know, right? So
hey, can I share the screen?
I googled rent a Tesla, just a curiosity, just see what's out there. And what comes up, there's this advertisement for this company that I've seen advertised on my Facebook, Instagram feeds everywhere. A company called Turo, Turo. Have you heard of it? Mm-hmm. It's an app. It's essentially, long story short, it's Airbnb for your car. So people can rent their cars out essentially to people.
That's scary.
I don't know if I would want to do that.
Yeah, there's a whole insurance policy that gets taken out. That's everything's covered if you're a renter.
I mean, what if it's full of circus penis when you get back?
It'd be totally weird. But anyway, so
has a giant nerd in it.
And about 10 miles away, there's a dude who rents out his Tesla Model 3. So I was like, oh. Yeah, of course, whenever I buy anything online, if it's not like on Amazon, jayandjack.com/Amazon, I always Google for coupons, right? Be like, the XYZ coupon. So I just Googled Turo coupons. And lo and behold, there's one on Groupon. You got like a $50 gift card to Turo for like $10 or $15. So I was like, Yahtzee. So I got that. And then I went and I booked the next day.
How old are you?
I booked the Tesla for my drive out to Western Mass. And I was super pumped about it, man. I couldn't sleep. I was like excited, So I got up, got my kids off to school, went and got a coffee and headed. I got a haircut.
Was the coffee with the candy?
Oh, I see it now on the sides. Yeah.
So I haven't washed it since yesterday. It looks pretty damn good. So, anyways, I go to the guy's house, and he had coordinated. He works locally, so he just his Tesla is like an investment where he just sits there and rents it out for like $100 a day. So he sent this buddy over who happens to be like the president of the Electric Vehicle Association of New England. And I was like, "Oh boy!"
Well, I didn't even know there was a club.
Neither did I until I got to this dude's house, and I got like the full-fledged, huge nerd. So I got the full-fledged like introduction to his group and order and all this bullshit, and then he gave me like the rundown of the car, which is actually very, very helpful because if you've not driven one before, it's completely different. So, anyways, all systems go. He tests it out. He brings me down a straightaway and demonstrates its 0 to 60 power, which is impressive. Anyway, so he goes, I'm on my way. I'm driving out to Western Mass, which is mainly highway ride. Holy shit, man! Renting a Tesla was the worst thing I ever could have done because that's all I can think about now is buying one, and I can't afford one. So So that car is amazing. Have you guys ridden in one or driven a Tesla?
No.
Seen them. It is quite honestly the best driving experience I think I've ever had. So as you've heard, the acceleration of these cars is amazing. I did like 0 to 60 in like less than 5 seconds in this thing. You just get up and go. And then this car was equipped with autopilot. I'm waiting for the next text.
We're all joking. We're all laughing because someone in the chat wrote, "You have to use your dick to start it."
So now I'm just imagining your enthusiasm based on that.
I could start it from 10 feet away. You actually start it with literally like a card. It looks like a little credit card. You just tap it on the center console to start up the car. But dude, autopilot in these Teslas is fucking insane. It literally drives itself down the highway with very, very, very little interaction by you. It's absolutely amazing. So now I'm thinking I gotta figure out a way to get me a Tesla.
Did you do all the like
more podcasting,
auto drive to you things, an auto park?
No, the summon. No,
the summon. Yeah.
You have to have. I think you have to have the app, so you have to be the registered owner of the car to use auto summon. Which it was disabled for the guest, because there's like different profiles when you get into the car, and I was logged into guest. I couldn't log into the dude's thing.
So it's car profiling?
Exactly.
Okay.
But man, it was unbelievable. The seats in those cars are fucking incredibly comfortable.
I'm sure you gotta use your dick to start it.
Yeah, it's true. But autopilot is no joke,
Circus
man.
dick.
That was incredible experience to have a car just drive you. It was amazing.
Now you had to keep your hands on the steering wheel though?
Very little. Like literally you have to have like like a featherweights of effort to the wheel for it to notice that you're there. If you take your hands off the wheel for more than I think like 10 seconds, it'll start like beeping at you. But it has to feel resistance. Because the steering wheel it's electronic. It's not mechanical.
Okay.
So it has to feel resistance from you. So
you can just use your knees like old school.
I think you could, but
I still drive that way.
So I you might have saw a picture I posted yesterday, and it's literally
I saw you texting and driving. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was watching the Clone Wars. It was amazing. I mean, no, I wasn't. I was not doing that. No, it's incredible. Like you set how many car lengths you want between you and the front people in front of you at all times.
I want 100 links.
It sets like you set the maximum speed you want to go to. It'll automatically regulate which lane you're in. You'll have to confirm a lane change, but it knows the car. It knows it's incredible. So if you have the opportunity to drive one, or if you need to have an experience driving one, I would say check out that app Turo, because you can rent one from somebody local. But it's fucking amazing. Like, I cannot wait to figure out a way that I can somehow squirrel enough money away to buy one, because it's an incredible experience.
Well, how cool would it be because eventually you'll be able to sleep or be on your phone, or you can do anything you want. Like, you go on a 9-hour trip, screw it. Just let me know with it. Halfway, I need to get gas, whatever. If it's electric, that's the problem. Is not finding a place to. Because I know Cindy and I, before we bought the Lexus, we were looking at electric cars, and I said the only problem is, I go, because we were thinking I could just charge it at work, just and not pay for it. I go, probably the range, most of them are only like 250 miles or something. Like I said, if we travel, where do you charge it? I mean, and how long? And it takes time to charge it. So I'm glad you brought that up, because on my way home, so it's like 125 miles total from where I picked up the car to my mom's house. So after I drop my mom off, and what happens is like you open up the navigation, you type in where you're going to, it calculates the distance, mileage wise. It then goes and looks at your battery and says, okay, you have enough to get home, but if you stop here and plug in for 15 minutes, you'll have 25% battery when you get home. It maps the whole thing out, because it's all these charging stations are popping up like weeds everywhere. Right. There's a shopping center here that has charging stations.
Yeah.
And I swear people, I said, the people from those condos are just coming over here because you see all these Teslas. I go, they're not shopping here. They're just going in there and charging their car for free.
No. So it's not always free. So you see those charging stations. It's not free.
Well, here at the mall, it's free.
So, that's awesome. So, but
at least I assume it. I don't see
with the Tesla supercharger stations you go to.
San Diego.
What happens is when you plug the charger into the car, the charger understands what car it is, because it's all run by the computer. So essentially, it's like it'll just charge your account. You don't have to swipe anything. You just plug it in, and it knows who you are. So it just charges your account. Now, if you buy a Tesla, I think they give you like 1,000 hours of charging or something. I don't know what it is, but 100 hours of charging for free. But it was incredible. So I sat there, I plugged in at a charging station on my way home for 20 minutes, and it added 120 miles to the range.
That's not bad at all, man.
Yeah.
Because I know you were talking about solar panels, and because Cindy and I, before we lost our jobs, we were talking about I was gonna put the solar panels in. I did all this research, and I said I can put them in, and I have a friend who worked at the rig too at the time who was going to put the battery. He was going to hook all the electrical part, because I figured out I could probably get it done for I could probably do it for $10,000 at the time. The panels and the batteries, everything, because I wouldn't be paying a company where we'd be like $25,000-$30,000. I would do most of the work. He would do the connection, but he was talking about, because he was trying to figure out a way for the rink to have not use any, to be on solar and generated power, where he was figuring out a way, because we have what keeps the ice frozen. There's these 2 generators that go pretty much constantly go. He was going to hook something up to generate to the thing that the thing going around with electricity. Okay, that'll work the lights, that'll work this, that'll work the scoreboard, that'll work all this different stuff. Then he goes, you get solar panels to work the lobby lights and the compressors. You'd have to pay some because getting the compressors to work for the ice, you'd have to pay for that. But he basically had it where 75% of we saved 75% of our electric bill. We'd be only paying like 25%. That's awesome. But they sold out and let us go before.
Yeah,
he did all that. But he was talking about cars. This is how this guy's that you'd put something in the tires generator that when the tires are going, it generates the car. He goes, they have this capability. They just don't. Dude, he goes, you don't need an electric car. You just have this thing where it generates where the tires are going. Or you have solar. He goes, eventually you're going to have solar. Everything's going to be Tesla came out with the solar tiles for the roof, and that's what eventually what I want to do is I want to do the Tesla. We're going to replace our roof here soon. I said I'd like to do that and just have Tesla where everything it's a solar roof. Like windows are solar. I mean, everything is solar.
What's cool here for Tesla, as because Tesla bought Solar City or whatever it is now, they're in the solar panel game. They offer this in a number of states. I'm not sure which ones, but I do know Massachusetts is one of them, where they offer you to rent solar panels. Yeah, but it's interesting, right? So it's a kind of a no-brainer if you are remotely thinking about getting solar. The question is that you actually get more savings in the long run if you buy it as opposed to rent it. Mm. So, there's no strings attached, right? So if you want in Massachusetts plus a bunch of other states, you can go to Tesla and order their panels. What they'll do is they'll install for free. Mm-hmm. They'll put everything up, right? And you pay $100 a month for my size that I would need, which is kind of like a medium size. It's a flat fee, $100 a month. You don't get any of the credits from this federal credit or state tax credit. They get them. But you pay $100 a month. That's it. That's all you do. You just pay $100 a month.
How much for the king size? Because I'm thinking king size here.
I think $150 a month.
You want those little big circus penises?
But then you just have to pay your electric bill, which is probably going to be reduced by like 80 to 90%. But it's $100 a month. That's it. And if you decide that you don't want them anymore, if you sell the house, they will remove them for free.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
My next door neighbor did the one where he rented the solar panels, and I said, "Well, what's the?" He says basically because I guess our electric company was it PNC. They screwed up. They did something wrong, and basically the customers are going to pay for it, which always happens. He goes, "My bill when they jack it up 25%, my bill will stay the same as it is now." I'm like, I go because I like you, Chris. I was looking at that Tesla thing where they put the panels up, and I figured out my bill would have been like $131 a month. But I wouldn't pay any. That's what I would pay for my electric bill would be $131 a month. That paying Tesla because Tesla would get all the credits. They would get all the. If I rented them, if I bought them, I get to sell it back to the thing. But again, that's like $40,000 if you do that. So it's like
the prices are coming down a lot.
Yeah, they are. You get good tax credit too. So
yeah, because
even some of the portable ones that because I was looking at over kind of Christmas, like you can get some for camping and just like kind of like small ones, and so I was looking at kind of some portable ones that I could take,
I've got
wherever.
Yeah, for camping.
Yeah.
Because you can't you can't take two steps outside without seeing some solar company installer van driving by. They're everywhere now.
It's huge in California because it's so expensive. It's so expensive out there.
Yeah, Massachusetts and California have some of the more advantageous rebates as well.
Well, they just passed a law, I think maybe 2 weeks ago in California that every new construction has to have solar panels.
Right.
Is that right?
I mean, it's a good.
I think you were talking about that before.
It's a good idea, I think, for the most part, but it's also you have to think about California has a huge housing crisis, and so you just jack the price up on all new development.
I don't know how people afford houses out there anyway.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, add another whatever to your house. And it's like, wow, like I can't afford a $1 million home anyway.
You could be like my state, which is so backwards that they passed a law last year that basically they can never ban plastic bags in our state.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
What?
Yeah, in Indiana, they can't come along and ban plastic bags. So all stores have to offer the plastic bags.
Someone submitted that as a law,
and they passed it because that's how fucked up we are.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, moving to California, you can't. You have to use. They still sell plastic bags at the grocery store, but they're expensive. Well, not too expensive, but they're expensive.
Well, you usually have to bring your own a lot of times.
That's what I did. Yeah. Like when I first moved to California, that's when they had just first introduced that law. And the plastic bags they gave me my first trip were super thick plastic bags, which I still use to this day. So they're over 4 years old, and I still use them. But then within 1 year, all the grocery stores went to a cheaper version.
Yeah, the flimsy bags.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that do, like, they want to do good, but they forget. Like, you're halfway there, and you're like, shit, I forgot my damn bags, And so then you have to buy them again, and they're all 25 cents a bag. And, if you have a huge family, you're spending, it's not much, it's like $5 for more bags. But
that adds up. Of course, you go to Indiana, it's free.
Yeah. But that was one of the things that they did. I remember reading an article about that, how in a way it's good, but in a way it's also like the plastic that's being consumed by these newer bags is actually more plastic than the ones for the really shitty thin ones that you get at like Indiana.
Well, you're holding your circus dicks, right?
Hey, yeah. Where's the libertarianism about this? I mean, you're forcing a law on these consumers that say, hey, you can't do away with plastic bags. I mean, it's kind of fucked up. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of libertarianism and like you shouldn't force people to do things. Period. It's like if I want to pollute, then I want to pollute. But
my mom actually has her trunk of her car is filled with plastic bags, and what she does is she takes them into the store with her, and then if she sees someone without a bag, she'll turn around and offer them the bags, and most of the time they're looking at her like, "What are you looking at, you crazy lady?" I said, Mom, I don't think they. She's like, well, I see you have no plastic bags. Here's some so you don't have, because they, like you said, they charge. So here she's trying to do a good thing, but these people look at her like, leave me alone, old lady. I go, Mom, they don't want your bags. Mom, they don't want your bags. I'm not coming shopping with you ever again. Don't.
People are just used to what they're used to, and they don't want to change. Because I thought that was weird too at first, and then you get used to it within a month or two. Like, oh, just bring your own bags. It's not a big deal.
We've used the same bag for recycling our in-house stuff for almost a year. We went to our anniversary last year to Angus Barn. They gave us a huge doggy bag for this one little thing we had. I go, well, we'll use this for our recyclable. And I've taped the handles keep breaking, but I said, I'm determined to make this last a year. And I'm taping it up. It looks like it's like been through a war. But I go, no, we're making it a year on this damn thing.
Hey, you know what? Every year I make it a point. I'm like, okay, this is the year. I'm gonna make sure. And every year I get a little bit better about making sure I always take the cloth bags to the grocery store. And we've been doing it for a long time now. I mean, at least 10 years that we take our cloth bags to the store. The problem is that my wife, she'll take all the cloth bags, jam them in her car. What's that?
Oh yeah.
And then I go and I'm like, I have no cloth bags left because you took them all, and
people look at you. That's the reason why we can't get rid of plastic bags in our state.
We can't have nice things because of that.
I'm a fan of the reusable bags because you can typically do what would be 6 to 7 plastic bags in like 2 of those bags. You just put so much crap in them.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I used a couple times this month since.
Condoms again? I reuse condoms all the time.
You got to save the environment.
Just
wash them out, right?
Plastic bags for your dick.
So I was. It was New Year's Day, and I had no desire to go to the grocery store whatsoever. So I used Instacart. You guys ever use Instacart?
Never heard of it.
No.
That sounds like
oh my god, it's the best. It's essentially Uber for your groceries.
That's what I was thinking.
You go online, you create your grocery list.
How lazy you millennials are,
dude! It's so good. I've used it. I used it twice since, or no, 3 times. But it was all like Christmas or it was New Year's Day, where it's like I had no desire to leave the house. And then the other night, actually, I was working late. My wife was working late, and we had no food in the house, so I placed an order online. And by the time I got home, it was on my doorstep. Nice. It was awesome. You end up paying about 10% more than you normally would for like service fees and like a tip. But and I don't recommend you use it every time you do grocery shopping. But man, it is there for you in a pinch. It's awesome.
I'd be too paranoid because if you go to buy strawberries, like I'm the guy that will look through like every single cart, and like they're all bruised or wet on the bottom. I don't want this one.
You always got to look at the bottom because they're all beaten up.
I am with you 100% on that, right? And I will tell you, of the 3 times that I've used it, I've gotten produce all 3 times, and they did an excellent job in choosing the produce.
Okay.
That was the first thing I looked at.
Yeah.
You know what we do an excellent job of doing on this podcast? Choosing the commercials that we place a break in right in the middle of this podcast. So here's one right now, the best one. And we're back.
I'd buy it. I'd buy it. I don't know what it was, but I'd buy it.
It was a bag of dicks. Signed by Antonio Brown. If you own the bag of dick company that sells those little chewy, wouldn't you get Antonio Brown to sponsor you?
Get our gold signature bag of dicks collection by Antonio.
If you're mad at the cops, bag of dicks is the way to go.
We just have him as a spokesperson. Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, when I'm mad, I like to throw a bag of dicks.
Bag of dicks. Well, it's funny because they made it sound like a big. I go because at first I'm like going, he threw a bag of dicks. I go, how does he have? I thought they were like, I didn't know what he was. I said, then I go, wait, it looks like a little bag of like gummy bears or something. I go, that's the bag of dicks he threw at the cops. I go, you made it sound like it was a big deal. And it wasn't.
I thought he actually had severed penises in a Stop and Shop or a shopping bag.
Well, would you put it past him? Hey, Tom Brady, come over here. I'm chopping off your dick, man. Fuck you, Tom Brady.
All of New England is on like Tom Brady watch right now. We're all like ready to go.
That's because the Tennessee Titans
mouths open.
I guess Phillip Rivers is already moving.
Well, Tom Brady's already moved.
Phillip Rivers.
That's what I heard.
Phillip Rivers played. Even though he played in Los Angeles, he stayed. He kept his family in San Diego. He made the commute every day to Carson or wherever it was.
Yeah, Carson.
But rumor is he's a moving man pulled up and he's gone.
Where to?
I think that now Tennessee they have Ryan Tannehill, so they don't need him. But I think maybe he ends up in Carolina. He's he played at NC State, so we'll see. I'd like to see him go to the Patriots. I hate Carolina fans though; they're the worst.
Fuck Phillip.
Even though Patriots fans are the worst too. But Phillip Rivers would win you a Super Bowl playing with Belichick. He's had nothing but bad coaches, bad offensive lines for as long as I can remember.
What do you mean Brady's already moved, Chris?
Well, he bought a house it was during the season. So he bought a house in Connecticut, which I mean,
yeah, what's Connecticut?
One could argue a deal where he could be playing in New York. I mean, either way. I mean, he's probably. I'm based upon moving is all I'm saying. Like he's currently where he's moved to. He's about an hour from New York.
Okay, say he goes to one of the New York. Which team?
I guess the Jets.
They're Jets.
Yeah, because I mean.
I guess they're
I don't see why. Yeah, I don't see why. Like if Eli all of a sudden retired, like why they would get, it's like another old quarterback for what 1-2 seasons.
Although at the same time, I'm assuming the move was primarily for his wife.
Yeah,
but who knows? We'll see.
Well, so I had saw a rumor though that he had cleaned out his locker,
his suite.
His suite. Yeah, so
I'm just gonna go ahead and say, what? Maybe he does it every offseason. I hope.
So you hope he comes back and finishes his career.
Oh my God, yeah,
as a Patriot. Even though he's done.
He's not done. There's no fucking way.
The guy's the guy's older than a used bag of dicks.
He is not going to end his career in a pick six.
No.
I heard he was just throwing pick sixes out the window.
He had a bag of pick sixes, which would be perfect with Phillip Rivers.
he's definitely not done. There's no fucking. He also posted an Instagram post saying he's got more to prove. So like, who knows?
Well, I could do that.
Well, I mean, you in today's world, you don't do that. You don't get people all riled up and then not, unless you're Rob Gronkowski.
But when athletes go, they go quick, and he's 44, right?
45.
He's not 45.
Tom Brady?
I thought he was 44.
44. He's whatever. Okay. He's fucking awesome.
I'm sick of the rumors of him going to the Chargers. There's no way he goes to that clown show there. There's no fucking way he goes to that clown show there. Maybe they're still in San Diego, but there's no way he goes to Dean Spanos led LA Chargers, who are going to lose Bosa and because rumor is Travis Henry, not Travis Henry. Who's the tight end for the Chargers? Well, Antonio Gates just retired.
He's not going to go anywhere that can't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying the Jacksonville Jaguars are out?
Well, Jacksonville. I saw something in Jacksonville where they showed the last 10 season. It was like bad. One play away from the Super Bowl. Bad. It was like, I go, wow, that's amazing that they could be bad 9 out of 10 years, one play away from the Super Bowl. And how are you bad up? But there's just teams like that. That's just the way it is.
I don't know. Tennessee might be one play away.
They'll lose it. They'll go all the way and lose by 1 yard.
If I'm Kansas City, I put 9 people on the line and say, okay, Tannehill, you beat us. Yeah. There's no way I let Henry beat me. There's no way.
Kansas City looked insane. Like the fact that they were down that much and they came back to win it 51 to 21 or whatever it was.
51-31. But at one point they were down. They were down 24-0. I turned out. I said, "All right, fine." I go out and clean. I had Christmas lights. I still had to put away. I come back. I look at my phone. I go, 24-14. I go, So then I watched this. I go, they took the lead at the end of the half. I said, because Mahomes, he's the guy. He's the best quarterback in football right now. He just does it all. I mean, he's just an amazing talent. I say even a Patriots fan would admit that.
He's good.
He's good. When you look at the quarterbacks left, you got Ryan Tannehill, you got Patrick Mahomes, you have
Tom Brady,
Aaron Rodgers.
Still in the playoffs. We're not talking about the teams that are sitting at home. Aaron Rodgers, and you're not used to hearing that.
No.
And who else who's the other team in the NFC?
San Fran, who plays for
San Fran. What former Patriot who they should have kept?
The Galloping Chicken.
Garoppolo. Garoppolo.
That's a nickname. That nickname I gave him when he played here, and it never took.
Anyway, so you got 3 of the 4 teams have good quarterbacks, but Nick, you're not a Titans fan, right?
No, I mean I'll root for them, but I mean I have no loyalty to them.
Even though Kansas City was in the Chargers division, I should have hated them all the years. I've never hated Kansas City. I don't know why. I think because they're so far away. They were so far away from San Diego. I never understood why they were in the AFC West.
You've never heard of them because they didn't do anything.
No, I remember when I grew up, when I was young, they were one of the best teams in football. When they had Hank Stram and all those guys, Lynn Dawson and
when was it?
Hank Stram was back in the 60s and 70s. They were a great. They won the Super Bowl fourth year because the Jets won the first AFC team to win the Super Bowl, and then the Chiefs won the next year. That was the last Super Bowl they've won. Diehard fans, though. I mean, it's a sea of red when you see Kansas City.
Oh yeah,
I think they're better for the barbecue, but that's just me. Have you seen? I don't get. You see fans. I think it's more like Buffalo fans. Have you seen where, like, at tailgating, they jump off a truck?
Yeah, it's just silly.
And jump on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Bills Mafia.
Can someone explain that to me?
They ran out of brain cells up in upstate New York. There's not a whole lot to do in Buffalo.
Okay. I was watching one where I think it was Eagles fans. There was a Buffalo fan or some fan up there. He jumped off and they moved the table on him. So he messes the table, and they showed it in slow motion. His neck goes like this.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah,
it's like how did this? And he's just laying there, and I go, all right, did he get back up?
Darwinism at its finest.
Now, do you blame the guy pushing the table, or the guy stupid enough to jump off onto the table?
Yes. Well, both. It's kind of like all of the events that were led to World War One.
Okay,
I'm trying to do a segue there for Nick and Jack's review. So I know.
Look at this producer being a dick and pushing us through. I love it.
Yeah, you got a date?
What chop?
Chris you got some plastic. You have some plastic bags to go make.
I don't promote the plastic bags. Just the assholes that take.
That's a plastic bag right behind you.
Let's be fair. So he's doing his best work to try and keep us on point and have a nice fluid show that's going to be over before tomorrow.
People hate those. Be honest, people hate those shows, but that's okay. Anyway, 1917, the movie. Nick, do you want to start it? We both saw it. The other two didn't. Yeah, one was running a Tesla, and one was making plastic bags.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this film.
Shit to do. Fuck you, man. Okay, I'm busy.
You're busy. Right, busy doing what?
Work. I'm like up to my ears in work and penis dicks.
That's what I'm saying. Penis dicks. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are those penis sticks in your ears?
Penis is all over the place.
All over the place. It's just a drawing of dicks.
Next year, I want to be your secret Santa.
Penis,
let's hear about 1917 dicks. Let's go.
Yes, I'm. Ever since I saw the first previews for it, I was like, "Oh, I want to see this. This looks pretty good." And of course, it got building and building. I went and saw it in the theater here, and the first 30 minutes, everyone out there, remember to breathe, because you will hold your breath. It's to me like it kind of felt like
it doesn't stop, and that's the way
it doesn't stop. Yeah, I mean, what's great about 1917 is that I think it's 5 shots the entire time. Like you don't notice it when they split because the most of the film feels like just one steady shot, just to continue. It's almost like being a video game. You're just following,
a la Birdman.
Yeah, like Birdman. Yeah,
never saw Birdman, but yeah,
Birdman was good.
Birdman.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
So I think it definitely wins Oscar for best cinematography. Best picture, I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. I think it's definitely worth a best picture nomination. I don't think the acting is there to justify a best picture.
I like the acting.
Yeah. But, I mean, if none of the actors in it get nominated, that should tell you something, though, Jack.
Well, they had none of them got nominated?
No.
Because they're young and unknown.
No, I mean the kid who is the kid that's in the majority of the film. He was in a couple films I've seen him. Like one of them was Captain Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen, and then of course the younger one. That's Tomlin from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it. I think I think most people when you watch it will like it. You're definitely immersed into that film and those characters, and it's a good one there, Matt. No, yes, so I liked it. I don't know if I would buy it, but I did like it.
It wasn't the best because some people think best war movie I ever saw. No, but I thought it was good. There was a couple of times where I literally jumped.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The rat.
I did. I don't want to spoil people, but if Nick wants to, it's okay. But there was a couple of scenes where I literally went and jumped up like this. But Cindy liked it. I loved it. It was tense. I went in knowing that the premise was basically in it. I don't want to spoil anyone because I don't want to get accused of spoiling anyone, but the premise is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there
on the previews. Yeah. That's what it is.
But I didn't know some of the stuff that was going to happen during the movie.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought it was very well, like I said, a lot of people don't like the way it was shot. They didn't like the one.
No, I liked that. I felt it was Saving Private Ryan for World War I, but not as good as Saving Private Ryan. In that, because to me, I've always wanted a World War I film and an actual World War I film. The only thing we have is All Quiet on the Western Front. Everything else has always been something else,
Yeah.
Well,
it gets overshadowed. It gets overshadowed by World War II, which has had a lot of popular war movies.
But World War I has so much cool shit in it too. I mean, because you have mustard gas, you have barbed wire, you have tanks, you have so many things, and it's all you could really make a good film of just being in the trenches and the absolute fear of that situation. And I think that's what's good about this movie is the first 30 minutes of them walking through no man's land. I mean, you're just tense, thinking like any second now they could die.
Right.
And so I liked that. But I felt, but it's just like Saving Private Ryan in the way that it's a very focused story within, and the World War I is just the theater, and you're seeing glimpses of World War I, but it's just these two guys basically trying to complete their mission.
I didn't like it at the end where they saved Matt Damon.
Yeah, he was the worst part.
I did not like that.
He just shows up out of nowhere and starts crying. And
when Tom Hanks tells him, we have to save
muted,
you.
But you didn't hear me fucking yell at you. I was like, no! Matt Damon.
I'm just joking about that. Matt Damon is not in the movie. There are some other people in the movie that you may receive.
Oh yeah, there's lots of cameos.
I won't spoil you on that. Yeah. But I really liked the movie. The only problem I had with the movie is Cindy and I have been doing this once a week. We go to the Alamo. I've seen like most of the nominated movies I've seen, which is rare because I've been going to movies. We go to the Alamo Draft House. I get a drink and we order this pizza. It's like bacon. It's amazing. But I get a baked pretzel, and I say, "Can I forget the honey mustard sauce and get 2 quesos?" I always say, "Yes, whatever you want," because they're really accommodating there. So the movie starts. They bring the pizza. They were so busy it came late. So I go. Shut up, Matt. So I go. So I get the pretzel out, and I'm dipping it in. I'm thinking the queso stuff like this. I'm dipping it like this. And I take a big bite. It's like dripping in the queso. I take a big bite. It's not the queso. It's honey mustard. And I don't like mustard at all. So I'm like, so my wife is looking at me like,
you were choking on the mystery sauce.
Yeah. So she's like, are you choking? I'm like,
dribbling down.
I'm like going, no. So I finally do the right. I couldn't spit it out because it was a crowded movie theater.
Yeah. You had a gag reflex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I did.
The honey mustard, was it creamy? When it was dripping?
I don't know because it's dark. It's in the movie's dark.
And honey mustard.
Yeah. I don't know, but the waiter had a smile on his face. So I go, oh my God, this is so gross. And I'm like, so I take a drink, and she goes, what? I go, and it's Alamo Draft, so you can't really talk out. It had honey mustard sauce in it. Because when she acts that way, when she gets like a sweet tea. Mm-hmm. She makes this. Jay does a great impression of her, like she's dying, like she's been poisoned, and because she'll get mad at me because I'll bring like we go to and she goes, "You didn't try it beforehand?" I go, "I don't like tea, so why would I drink your tea to see if it's sweet or not?" Mm-hmm.
Don't.
I had the same reaction.
Your tea on other people. I learned that a long time ago.
So I thought it was funny with mustard gas in 1917 and I had basically the same. I experienced that kind of event because I had.
Are you comparing mustard gas to fucking honey mustard dressing?
I think it's the same. I would have the same reaction if I got mustard gas sprayed on me.
Your lungs would bleed and you cough out vomiting. Mm-hmm.
I was doing the same thing. If you look at my napkin, there was like blood all over the place. I was like, I go, give me a pizza stat. I drank my drink. I'm like, oh my God. So when I guess the waitress, she comes by, I go, God, can you do me a favor? Queso, not honey mustard. I'm so sorry, sir. No problem. It took me like half the It took me like half the movie to get the honey mustard taste out of my mouth. It was so gross. I literally thought I was going to die. And so I think that helped me. Maybe that's why I like the movie a little more than Nick. Because I think I was experiencing like war from having the honey mustard sauce. What do you think?
Not buying it.
All I've heard about your review is that someone was a little bitch.
Nick, you gonna take that, Nick?
It wasn't me.
Well, I ordered double queso, and they bring me double honey mustard.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that?
That's the waiter or waitress being like, this motherfucker comes in here once a week with his wife, orders the same fucking pizza, and just tries to get free sauce from us all the time. I'm fucking with him.
He doesn't even try her tea.
I'm fucking with him.
You know, the funny thing is, because we saw the Star Wars movie, we were in the same seats in the same theater. We saw that. I go, this looks familiar. I go, oh, we're in the same seats. They go, have you been here before? I go, you don't recognize us? Fuck
That's
off.
how you talk to them? That's how you talk to them?
Wow.
You don't know who I am? I've been in the theater.
You got something a little extra in that.
The people at the Apple store know who I am.
Yeah, I would not trust that queso sauce next time you start dipping.
Nope. As long as it has a strong queso, I don't care.
I'd start going to showcase if I were you.
Extra creamy for this kid.
not the white queso.
Yeah, not the
well, unfortunately it's dark. You can't see, so it could be
exactly.
You guys have a nice movie theater in town there. I went and saw one of the Avengers films a couple years ago when we were visiting you guys. What's the name of the movie theater over there by the outdoor mall-ish thing? I don't know if it's outdoor mall, but
Shenanigans.
Are you talking about Nashville or
McGuffin?
In Raleigh.
In Raleigh? Oh, North Hills? Not North Hills. I know which one you're talking. The one by Jane Collins?
Yes.
Yeah, it's we used to go there all the time, but it's nothing compared to the Draft House. Plus, it's further away.
Nice theater,
but it's nice theater. They serve food and stuff like that. Well, I think you have to go get the food. They don't bring it to you.
Oh,
it's just like the theater we have here does that same thing too. Like you order it at the counter and they bring it to you, and you're like, it just feels weird to me. Like someone bringing me my popcorn.
Now, you don't even have to. You sit in your seat; they bring it to you.
Yeah, the one in Knoxville was like that. Yeah, like they come to your seat and order. And
yeah, there's no other way. And plus, if someone's talking, you can go because someone's phone went off. Like their alarm, I go.
Oh, yeah.
I go. I know that's not in the movie because it's 1917.
Yeah. Did you guys see that story right when the opening day of Star Wars where that guy like got thrown out for assaulting another guy for that reason?
Yeah.
Because like he was there, the movie was about to start and the guy was on his phone and like he told him to put it up and he still had it out and like he ended up hitting the guy like. I've been waiting for years to watch this shit, and part of me like didn't blame him, but he was a dick when they interviewed him. Like, okay, this guy's a dick. But like, I kind of had this. So when I went saw 1917, the woman to my left was elderly, which I understand, but she had her phone out for at least the first 5-10 minutes of the movie, full bright on, and I'm just like, do you not know how to put it on fucking dim? I bet you don't, And then the people to my left of me were. Two people who brought in a full bag of Doritos and ate that damn thing in the theater. And of course, all you're hearing is the fucking wrapper the whole time. I'm just like,
stop with the wrapper.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think we've been there 13, 14 times and nobody talks. It's nice. You don't have to worry about somebody, thinking they're funnier than, the person on the screen. And this week we're going to go see that movie with Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan. He's
the court one, yeah.
Yeah, it's Cindy's
Mercy, just Mercy.
Mercy, yeah. It's her turn to pick because I had 1917 and the Star Wars movie. So
yeah, I would have chosen Bad Boys. So
yeah.
I don't. Is Will Smith made a good funny? When was the last time Will Smith made a good movie?
Good men.
I mean, seriously, when was the last time he made a good movie?
Which one?
Bad Boys 2.
No, I think Men in Black was out after that. So
yeah, like I said, Bad Boys 2.
Wait, you talking about Martin Lawrence or Will Smith?
I think we're talking about Will Smith.
Will Smith. And I like Will Smith. I like Will Smith.
I think Will Smith's
he's made some clankers, man.
Yeah, the last Will Smith movie I thought was good was Hitch. That's 2004.
That was a terrible movie.
Hitch I love Hitch. Terrible.
I like Hitch.
Oh God, that's brutally bad. That was terrible.
What? All right, IMDb, we go.
Yep, here we go. Oh, these are all soundtracks. What about Aladdin? He was in Aladdin recently.
That was a remake. Come on. The movie where he made was a remake of The Omega Man, or it was called something else. That wasn't bad, right? Where he's alone and he cries over the dog dying. Oh, that was good.
But they changed the ending.
Yeah. Just most of the time when I see Will Smith, I go, "Oh hell no!"
Really?
Yeah, really.
What is that? I Am Legend. That's what you're thinking of.
I Am Legend.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of I Am Legend.
That was good.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad. So, I mean, it felt like a remake of a '70s movie to me. So, didn't you guys have some other thing that you wanted to review?
Well, I thought y'all were looking up Will Smith, but I think Chris had originally recommended it a while back, and I knocked it out over the weekend. Watched The Witcher on Netflix.
Yes.
Finished that from beginning to end, which was very good, very satisfying first season. I can't believe I had to wait a year and a half for the next season.
I know.
I did have they said that they confirmed for 2021, so it's at least a year or more, a little more than a year. I kind of felt that we needed another episode because it left you like no resolution whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it's a good series. I'm glad I watched it.
It's on my list.
I have not watched The Witcher yet.
The Witcher, it's a good one. Yeah.
I might have to wait just a year so that I don't have to like.
I wouldn't blame you. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I did with Stranger Things. I waited until I think 2-3 months before season 2 started and watched it. So
it's kind of what Chris is doing with Clone Wars. He's got Clone Wars because the last season is coming up. So
coming, talk about that, Chris. Like, so you're through season 2 now of Clone Wars.
Yeah. Through season 2. It's good, man. It's interesting. It is a little bit choppy. We were talking about this before we started recording, talking about like the continuity and the order of the episodes and such. And it's a little bit dodgy in that sense. But I find myself kind of like drifting off when I'm watching it. I'm not like super invested into it. But overall, it's good. It's crazy how expendable the clones are.
Of course,
you don't get that from the movies, right? So you don't really feel that like that because in the Clone Wars cartoon, the clones all have varying levels of different personalities. They actually play a much more pertinent role in the Star Wars universe than they do in the movies, because in the movies they're just soldiers and you don't see their faces. But they have real backstories, which is kind of cool. I'm digging it, man. I just got to see young Boba Fett be a badass, which is kind of cool. Saw the demise of Slave One, which made me sad.
He sucked too.
For everyone out there, we're listing in the chat Will Smith movies, and we're silently judging them as they're being listed.
Hancock,
not silently at all, actually.
Yeah, not silently. Yeah,
sorry.
I think you'll because you haven't watched Rebels yet either, Chris, right?
No, I mean, okay. I've seen a few episodes of Rebels, but I've only seen the first couple.
You'll find that this is similar in that the season one we've talked about season 1, they're just kind of like okay, and then season 2 you're like okay, it's getting a little bit better, and then because the Rebels, it took me basically all the way to the end of season 2 to go like all right, I'm watching this because the last episode of Rebels is season 2 is pretty badass.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the first episode actually, and it reminded me of watching Aladdin. I feel like that's what the beginning of Aladdin, the movie, the old school one.
A whole new world. Hey, can I ask a question? I'm looking at this list you guys are typing. How does Will Smith keep working?
He hasn't worked in a long time.
Because I'm looking at these movies because he had that one that came out this year where he was like, there was someone cloned him or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it even was out a week.
Yeah,
nobody wants to clone him.
Hand.
Oh, just to add on to what Chris was saying though about the clones, I've been rewatching it with my kids. Chris and I actually talked about this before you guys jumped on, and my kids actually did the same thing that Chris did. They were like, "Man, the clones!" Like they actually feel for the clones, and I think it's one great thing that the actual show does that the movies never did, which that shows you the humanity of the clones.
Well, can't you just say fuck them? They're just clones.
No, I mean, like it makes you sympathize for them. You don't feel anything for them in the movies, but in the TV show, you actually are like.
I can just clone them.
And the other thing that it does is it actually creates a better bond with Anakin. Like you actually are like, okay, this guy's. I understand why he's a good guy. So, all right, break out your cheese balls, buddy.
I had a couple other things I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
On YouTube, if you're a Western fan, I was goofing around, and of course, I like Western movies. I think, Nick, you like Western movies.
Absolutely.
There's a YouTube channel called Word on Westerns. It's, I think, Rod something. He has different guests that were in, like, these movies like The Wild Bunch or Magnificent Seven, TV shows like Gunsmoke, and all these different Westerns. It's all about Westerns. And they talk about different, Wild Wild West. That fucking shows, that movie absolutely sucked.
Terrible.
But no, it's on YouTube, and it's, if you like Westerns, if you like old Westerns and hearing about different actors and stuff like that, it's a lot of fun to watch. And they're like, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. About 8 or 9 minutes long, and it's pretty good. It's pretty smooth, but check that out. But I didn't want to talk about. So I'm not the PC police. Let's just say that right at I mean, I think political correctness has probably gone too far. If you ask me, it's probably gone too far. So I'm watching the Chiefs game, and I'm going back and forth on Twitter, and I don't know how this ended up on my feed because it wasn't somebody I followed. He put, and this is him putting it. He goes, yeah, watching Andy Reid and who's the other coach? Andy Reid and who are they playing? And Bill O'Brien coach is like watching two retards fight. And he had a picture. And I go, holy crap. And usually I ignore that crap, but that word's pretty offensive to me. And I go,
wait, who's
some guy on Twitter. And I said, so I go, I don't know how I saw it. Probably someone I follow retweeted it because it literally had, I don't know, it was more offensive. The fact that someone would still put that. This is why I said 2020 and people still putting up stuff like that they think is funny or think okay to say, not cool, dude. Well, he retweeted what I said so his followers could, attack me, which I didn't care. But he had someone, it must have been a burner account because he was following 3 people who had no followers. He goes, nobody cares that you're Y-O-U-R offended. And I said, well, people who have followers and class do. And that's how I left it. But he literally had, I don't know what was more offensive, the fact that he put that, or he literally had over at one point 1,000 people, and he only had like 1,500 followers, but 1,000 people liked it and like 300 people retweeted it. Again, I'm not the PC police, but it's 2020.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's just wrong. Like it's just
and people were attacking him, saying, what a fucking asshole you are. What did this and that? Again, it's like I said, because I used to hang around a person at the rink. Matt knows him. You guys have heard of him. He used that word all the time, and I literally say, dude, that word.
I thought you were going to say that he was that way, but okay,
no. I go, that word is really offensive to me, and I don't like the way you're using it. And finally, he just got to the point and said, but then he was going to San Diego. I go, look, and he was going to be around my mom. I said, I'm going to give you a heads up. I go, you use that word all the time. Do not say it around my mom because she will chew you up and spit you out. I go, don't do it. And then he had a girlfriend at the time who her 2 sons were brats, just really brats. She didn't discipline them at all. The kid, I think, was like 9. He came up to me one time. He goes, do you know what the R stands for in Republican? Little R. I go, I have no idea. He goes, retard. I go, well, just to let you know. I go, you probably don't know. I go, that word is offensive to me. I don't like it when it's used that way. And then he goes, well, such and such use. I go, I don't care. I go, I don't want to hear it. So he just went, you're a retard, you're a retard, you're a retard. And she never said anything to him. And she was like, we got to save the planet. We got to save this. But she was okay with her son. So again, I don't like to make this, I don't go out of my, soapbox too often, but I go, that's just word. I go, I can't believe people are still using that word to try to be funny in 2020. And that's all I said. I didn't get into it because he didn't come at me. He was a coward, and it's the internet. I don't know why people are afraid to, it's not like I can reach through the screen and punch you in the face, which I probably would have done. But again, there's just certain words out there you can't use anymore, right? It was never funny, but at one point it was acceptable. Now it's to the point where I couldn't, like I said, I don't know, it was more offensive that he used it and didn't delete it, because people were saying, I'm reporting this tweet. So I don't know what happened because I don't follow him, but that at least 1,000 people liked it and at least 300 people retweeted it. So that's
like a Russian bot there. You got your tweet dick and some Russian bot.
Yeah, so. I don't know what it was, but I was like going, and then people were like, and then the guy that said the comment about, then someone said it's YOU_RE, not YOUR. So anyway, so I said, okay, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna spend my entire day trying to teach this guy what he's saying is wrong. I made my case, and I said, come on, it's not funny.
It's not. It's classless to be proud of saying it.
Yeah,
and what's interesting is like the using that term for somebody is completely derogatory. But you're right, because there was a time that it wasn't it wasn't deemed as offensive to the populace, right. To those who it was representing, probably very much so, right? But it was almost a very commonly used thing, and even in the last few years, the past tense of the term is still used. And I will fully admit that I have actually caught myself, not recently, but I have caught myself using the past tense of that word as like referring to something as being, stupid or dumb. And I caught myself and I said, wow, I just said that. And it wasn't because of any malice or or whatever. It just happened to have been like a normal part of a kid growing up's vocabulary back in the 80s and even the 90s. And I caught myself, and I remember I said it, not thinking anything of it. And then I heard myself say it, and I stopped what I was talking about. And I said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't use that word. And since that time, I've never, ever used it. But it's crazy how that, just 20 years ago, that was like,
yeah, it was very good, because I remember because my mom will literally, she's lost friends because of it. Yeah, because they've used the word. She will stop. If they fight back with her, she literally. My mom's the kind of person that you don't fight with, because if you fight with her, she's gonna fight to the death, and she just will. And for me, it's offensive. I don't use it. I learned at a very young age not to use it, because I think I remember saying something, and I got my ass kicked because I said something about, and I think I was like 4 or 5. that was it. I never once did it again. But my mom, like I said, I'm not the PC police. I'm not here to teach people, especially if you're not my kid, right from wrong. But I don't know what it was. I said, come on, really? We're using this as to describe the two coaches, and we think this is funny, and people are liking it.
Well, it's like the term "that's gay," right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've come a long way from that. I know my daughter is in middle school, and that's still a very common, thing that's being said still to this day. So it shows you how backwards my state is. But
it's not just your state. I hear it all the time.
Reusable bags.
That's just gay. So recently we started watching a show with our kids, Mixed-ish. It's a spinoff of Blackish, and we like the show because it takes place in the 80s, and we've been watching it with our kids because it depicts the 80s in a way that we can actually like tell our kids, like, no, this is how things were, and kind of like also kind of progressively, create some conversations with our kids. And so that was actually brought up, I think, either in episode 1 or 2. The dad refers to something, or not the dad, but the granddad, who is just like uber 80s, rich guy or whatever. And so he refers to something as being gay. And so, so it's created an interesting dialogue with our kids about that. And so, But it's unfortunate that that's still some type of a derogatory slang, just as this word, and phrase, using retarded as a way of putting things down. We can't just kind of move beyond that. I mean,
well, it's just like being a bully. I mean, you're picking on someone who most of them can't defend. My sister's has cerebral palsy, and she can't talk or walk, and she can't. There's no way she can defend herself. But people would think it's okay to, and I heard it all growing up. I mean, it was just people that would and adults would come up to you and go, "What's wrong with your sister?" And you're like going, "Well, I'm talking. I'm like 10, and these people are 30 or 40. In the stares and stuff like you get, and it's just like I can't believe people. Again, I get it back then, but we should have come a long way.
Yeah.
And again, I just can't believe. And I didn't report the tweet. I'm not going to tell on him. I don't care. I made my comment. His followers said something afterwards. I go, I'm not going to get into it with you. You're assholes. You're idiots. And I'm not going to waste my time with you.
Well,
I'm not going to sit there.
I just want to burn this asshole to the ground now. So
I could have retweeted it, and I have enough followers that they probably would have gone after him. But I go, I'm not doing this. It's not. I'm not going to give him probably the attention he wants. To me, I said my piece, and I'm like, again, I don't usually go. Again, don't say it around my mom. But if you say it around, me, I'll probably, I might once in a while I'll say, hey, I don't like that. Don't use that term. But most of the time, I'm like going. Because I've had people around me do it, and I kind of cringe. I had customers that when I used to work, and you go, they go, what? And I go, I don't really like that word. And they go, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, okay, well, why are you still saying it? But but it is what it is. I mean, we all have to learn. We also, I say things I shouldn't say, and it's like, okay, that's bad now. Okay, I won't say that. But again, that's just I just wanted to get off my chest.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, this is our time to chat and talk about things that have happened, So, so to segue from this, is there any other TV shows or things that you wanted to talk about, Nick?
I wanted to bring up what Chris. So for everyone out there, maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't notice. But maybe 2 nights ago, Chris decided to finally watch John Wick 3. And not only did he choose to watch it, he chose to live stream his viewing scene for scene with timestamps. And if you notice, just over the hour mark, for some reason, the live stream just stops.
This is okay. So that it's like 57 minutes in or whatever. This is what you could see at my house or where I'm sitting because I watched it right here. You saw this. I was out cold. I may or may not have had some edible treat. And I was watching it, and what's funny is Nick's right. I started furiously typing stuff up, and Nick liked a couple of things I was typing, and then he just said, "Fuck it, I give up. I'm not going to listen to him." And I realized that I was like, "Oh,
Nick said, I have a life."
I'm being the guy who's causing notifications on people's phones to start going off. If you're subscribed to the group, you might get. I'm like, I kind of feel bad about that, but whatever. I'm going to keep going. And I was doing some live blogging of the show, the movie, and the first
opening
15 minutes of John Wick 3 are fucking incredible.
It's unbelievable. Yeah,
unbelievable.
It almost because
I still haven't seen the first one.
Oh man,
Jack!
Well,
you got to.
All 3 are great, and the first one's good, and then the second one you're like, wow, they topped the first one, and then you see the third one, you're like, where can they go from there? Especially the first
FBI agent.
The first third of that movie, the way he kills so many people in the first bit, you're like, oh, it's just mouth wide open, just wow, what is happening? It's a good one.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I watched. Good thing someone timestamped it so I can go back and pick up where I left off. But
I am going to watch because you guys have talked about it so much. I'm eventually going to go.
Well, it's just because you were defending Dirty Harry, saying it was the best, and then we were like, no, John Wick.
You can't. You'll never convince me that something's better than Dirty Harry.
I mean, you have to realize. The John Wick. There's no way anyone could do what he does. And how many things happen to him and he still lives. He'd be dead. But that. So
Dirty Harry's believable.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I am to the last episode of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I was wondering how your rewatch was going. I am on. I have the one more episode to go. And the finale, I'm enjoying it. The show, it's funny. It got better as the seasons went along. It got funnier. I might have to jump into the Mary Tyler Moore Show because I've been watching Taxi. That has been my new jam. And they don't have all the episodes on there though. Exactly. It's That's so weird. Frustrating. Because I was going to start watching it. I went, well, you're skipping. Where's the Jim Slow Down episode? Why? Where's Jim that he got addicted to Pac-Man and Louis paid him in quarters? The Pac-Man is on there. Is it on there? Okay, because he pays him in quarters, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Slow Down one's in season 2. I know that.
Yeah, because they had the other guy for season 1 that didn't work out. He got canned. He got kicked to the curb. Yeah, John. Yeah. But I'm like going. He crashes Cab 804. That's kind of like the season. Oh yeah, because that's a 2-parter. Yeah. Yeah, but which also has Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck, yes. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that Ted Danson appears in the show. Mm-hmm. Tom Hanks appears in the show. All of the T's. So, but I've been enjoying it. And Jim is my favorite character. I watch him and it just I stop laughing. The episode in which he is a door-to-door salesperson and he comes in and he just pours all of this shit all over the carpet. I mean, he's just rubbing it in and the woman's just like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, no, this stuff is great. It's going to work. And then he's going to take it right out. And then he pulls out of his bag and it's it's an encyclopedia. And he's like, oh, I'm selling books. I remember that one, yeah. No, Taxi is a great show, but I look and I go, 1, 2, 3, episode 8. I go. It skips around. Yeah, it's really frustrating. It's like they didn't get the whole access to them. Yeah. It's on. You're talking about Netflix, right? Hulu. Hulu? Yeah, maybe it is Hulu. Maybe it is Hulu. I'm sorry, it is Hulu. That's where I'm watching Mary Tyler Moore. But I might watch Bob Newhart next. Sure, because it was on after Mary Tyler Moore, and I'm a big Bob Newhart fan. But yeah, Mary Tyler, it gets better because most shows don't. They get weaker as they go along. But Mary Tyler Moore got better. And how is Ed Asner? He becomes like a player. I mean, we've all seen Ed Asner, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He becomes like a chick magnet type guy. And I'm like going, how's this? I mean, I see him. How is this possible? Well, some people have charisma off screen. You know? Well, I thought about asking him on Twitter, saying, "Hey, dude, what's the deal with you and Lou Grant? I don't get why all of a sudden women are just dying to go out with you." Because it wasn't that he was, he was married the first 2 or 3 years. Then Edie breaks up with him. Spoiler alert. Sorry for you people that don't know that. But anyway, but one episode away from the entire series of 7 seasons. Tune in next episode on the Ramblecast when we hear Jack's official breakdown of the series. Most people won't like it, but I think it still holds up. I still laugh at a lot of the jokes. The Chuckle the Clown episode is still one of the funnier episodes on TV. You guys have seen Chuckle the Clown, right? You've talked about it quite a bit. We actually got a rash from it. So yeah, because then we start talking about broke out into hives every time you mention the name. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen the Chuckle the Clown episode, it's one of the funnier episodes of TV in history of television. Because then we start talking about Homie D Clown. After that. And you know what we don't play? What?
Homie don't play that game.
Homie don't play that. What happened to that? I mean, that show.
They're doing, I think, a reunion.
Are they?
Yeah, because it's been 30 years or something like that.
Fire Bob? Or what was it? What was the character of Jim Carrey's?
Yeah, Fire Marshal Bob.
Oh, Fire Marshal Bob.
Fire Marshal Bob.
Let me say something.
He's all burnt.
Are those matches you're playing with on a thatch roof?
Oh, that show was funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the character that comes in with the pickle jar, but there's a lot of different characters.
That's Nick, right? For a hangover.
It works.
The homeless guy that like comes in and he's got the pickle jar. Anyway,
Yeah.
So
Pickle juice works. Yeah, activated charcoal.
One thing that we don't play is we don't play this podcast past a certain point, and I know one of these podcasters has got a big day tomorrow.
No, he does. After 2 days of work, he should be rested up.
No, I'm well.
I have two grandkids tomorrow.
I've got a kid with the shits and 101 fever.
Which one's that?
My son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been out of sorts today, and he had a 4-hour nap in the middle of the day.
Nice.
And he woke up pissed.
I had, because usually I had both grandkids.
I'd say shitty.
Before I only had one grandkid.
I had 2 blowouts today.
But my grandson had shots yesterday.
Oh.
He's 4 months old. I go, oh, not shots. So he's usually so quiet you forget about him. He's just a quiet, happy-go-lucky. He was fussy today. My granddaughter, who wasn't as fussy, but I couldn't get them to nap at the same time, so I didn't get my nap. So I was a little upset. Because I need my nap.
Yeah.
Oh, poor kid. He's always smiling. So
look at those cheeks.
Yeah, his eyes are all bloodshot. Looks like he had a couple of gummies, but he's just not.
He get into Dad's stash.
Maybe that's why he had the shits.
I didn't want to say anything about Jack because he had that really great talk earlier about saying certain words and how But I don't know why you were giving your grandson shots. I mean, that is not cool, man. Not cool.
Well, but I won, so that he passed out first.
Oh, yeah.
You take one. I take one.
Can't handle it, huh, kid? He's a good kid, but it's like it's just like two of them together. It's like, well, it's funny because my granddaughter, she's now accepted him that he's there, but there's this chair that we had some Zach. It's like a little chair that you put them on where they can have they can play things. There's a little stuff they can hit and stuff like that.
Circus penis.
Yeah, circus penises. Well, they like them. And then what's funny, because she knows that I put him in that chair once in a while, but she likes to sit in that chair. So I go upstairs, and we got a gate now because she's been running up the stairs, and she's only 16 months. She wants to go see the fish in my room, but I go, no, you can't go up. So we went and got this really nice gate. So she can't, because she was breaking down. We had the plastic one. She was just ripping it down like she's Godzilla. Mm-hmm. And so then I go, I'll be back in a minute, baby. So she's pulling on the gate, trying to, because she wants to go upstairs. I go, no, I'm going to get Hayden. I'll be back. I'll be down in a minute. So I bring Hayden down. She sees me. She goes running back to the chair and jumps in it so he can't get it.
Right. Yeah.
I go, God, you're just like the other two. I think I talked about before. All 4 grandkids, well, all 3 grandkids have that selfish, they're good grandkids, but I want that for myself. And she can't. She'll like hover over him until he gets out of it. You pick him up, change the diaper. She jumps in it.
Human nature.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, it's fun, but long days.
I had 2 labs that were that way. Not to compare your grandkids to dogs, but
that's fine.
there was one, dog sleeping thing that they even though they had God knows how many, there was one that they both loved, and there were times you walk outside and they would just be looking at each other, both of them squeezing this little bitty dog bed, and just growling at each other, even though they were brothers and they would never fight. They were just like face to face, just like, geez, like what is it?
Today, Hayden's sitting in it, and I go, what are you doing, Ava? And she's got her foot on the couch, and she's pushing her foot under his legs. I go, are you trying to kick him out of the chair? And we bought her a nice chair, and she won't sit in it. She doesn't. I go, you know why? Because it doesn't recline. She likes the reclining action of the chair. So, because Cindy bought her this chair, it's like a cat chair. It's all. I go, she hates it. She won't sit in it because it doesn't. I go, it doesn't recline. So what I do is I get like a plastic tub so she can put her feet up so she can sit and watch her little videos and her like bubble guppy videos as her feet are kicked back.
Fucking bubble guppy.
Bubble. Like, I think we talked about it before. Maybe you weren't here, Chris, but they're fish. But do they act like fish?
I know far too well the bubble guppies.
And Mr. The teacher Grouper, I call him Mr. Groper. I don't trust him at all. I want a background check on Mr. Groper.
All right, I don't want to cut this podcast short, but I'm going to just say that if you want to take this to the next level, Jack, you need to go to Amazon.com/JandJack, buy an extra chair, and just save yourself all of the selfish desires.
I don't think it would work, because you even have that chair where I don't know, Chris, if you have it, it's a chair where young infants can sit up. It's like a blue foam type chair.
Combo.
Yeah, that's what it's called. She will go. I go, you're too big to sit in that, and she's like trying to cram herself because he sat in it. So now I go, and she's like, I go, you're stuck in it because you're too big to be sitting in that chair.
Being an asshole, kid.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, I just was directing all of our listeners to Amazon.com/JandJack for all of their purchases that they want to help out the show, help out the podcasters and what we do here on this show. Don't mean to cut this podcast short, but I'm trying.
Chris needs a Tesla.
Chris also needs a nap, and so that's why I'm trying to end the show on a wing and a prayer. You can become a patron. Go to patreon.com/JandJack. You can become a patron there. You can also go to just jandjack.com. It has all of those things that we talk about. And there's a few patrons that make this show possible that we like to thank. We love them all. You're great. The $1 to $5, $50. We love it all. I'm just like Scrooge McDuck over here. We're just rolling in all the coins. No, I'm not. But if you do want to send us Scrooge McDuck's vault, send it to us at the patron level and blah, blah, blah. I lost my mojo here.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's late.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
I taught 3 classes today. I'm done. I'm done talking to people, okay? All my metaphors are shot. They're all shot. I gave the best stuff.
What you should be doing is your stuff in the chat is what you should be.
Okay.
Did you thank the patrons? Because Joanne with a Plan likes the way you do it on Owen Barus, so I'm not doing it anymore.
I know I don't have special names for them. But if I were to come up with special names off the fly, I would say Tack from Tack. I can't come up with names off it. I usually write this shit down ahead of time, and I can't come up with it on the fly.
Canned humor.
Canned humor. So instead, I'll just attach it to everything that I wrote that is Will Smith base. So Tack from Annie, the 2014 version. Let me finish with the patrons that make this show possible.
I'm sorry, I didn't know he was in Annie.
I didn't know he was in Annie.
Tack from Annie, the 2014 version. Thanks for doing what you do. Ed, the creepy letter carrier from I Am Legend.
At least you gave him a good movie.
Maggie from Men in Black 2.
2? She only even 1?
Eckhart Richter Hancock. Thanks, guy. Joanne with the Plan called Suicide Squad. Keep them coming. And
Derailed.
And Drake, the iRobot, Bad Boys 2, Ali, and Wild Wild West. You got it all. Thanks for doing what you do as well. I hope
I didn't even like Ali. I thought that was boring.
Thank you for all the patrons for making this show possible. And before Jack can say it, this was a great show. It was 1 in a million. At least it's 1 in 2020. Come back next week. Maybe we'll have some sheets for you.
Am I wrong on Ali? Such an interesting guy, and it was a terrible movie.
I'm just going to cut you guys off.
It should have been about Joe Frazier.
Matt does such a phenomenal job of tying up the loose ends of the show and bringing it to a close, and essentially gives his sign off, and Jack just continues his conversation.
The show can end.
But you know what? I got it back, Joanne, with a Plan. You are good at doing the names, because she said she completely stops listening except for Owen and Brews Barbecue.
Okay, well, I phoned it in today. Sorry, Joanne, but you're part of the Suicide Squad.
No, you can do it from
night,
now
guys.
on. That's okay.
Great no, I don't have to do everything from now on.
No. You didn't do anything for 1:32. You just sat here, putting your little funny comments in the chat.
I'm letting you guys. You guys were talking about World War I and shit. So
an hour ago.
All right, great show, kids. 1 in a million. Suck it, Jack.
That's real nice of you. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Honey mustard.